What's up, you guys, and welcome back to CockTales Dirty Discussions. I'm your host, Kiki Said So. I am sorry that, well, I'm gonna stop apologizing because y'all already know what's going on. It is a moving week. I am recording this episode on Sunday. I totally lost track of the days of the week, so I'm recording this and getting this out to you really quickly so that I can make my deadline. And quite honestly, I'm still in the middle of packing. Technically, I was supposed to be out of my place yesterday. I don't know what these fees are about to be looking like, but I haven't been able to get out of my space. There's been so much going on and I have so much stuff. So I got a pod and that is pretty much packed up. You know, me and my man, that's not my man, we are moving and later this month, and like days have been getting switched around. I told y'all I don't really want to say too much because I don't know who has my voodoo doll. I'm just noticing shadows on my face. Whatever, we're just gonna roll with it. Hopefully that'll be a little better. Anyway, y'all are very forgiving, very understanding, and very supportive. So you know I'm not in my normal space. I will be back in the studio soon. I feel like I keep saying that and keep saying that and keep saying that. But I think you'll be really, really happy with what you'll be seeing over the next few months. And yeah, so, okay, the move. I hired some TaskRabbits. I hired somebody on TaskRabbit, and we're not having a cocktail today because I need to keep drinking water and stay hydrated. I barely slept last night. I'm running on fumes. So I also was looking at my period tracking app, and I feel like part of the reason why things have been a little haywire in my life lately is because, oh my God, I thought I didn't press record. Okay, we're safe. Is because, my period is about to come, so I feel like I'm in this weird period where it's like 3 weeks out of a whole month, which is basically all of it. I just don't be feeling right. I'm not my normal self. I'm not very level-headed, so that's where we at, and we are going into Red Week. So pray for me and anybody who comes in my way, okay? Anyway, we were bickering and stuff, like me and my man. We was bickering about stuff and I was just getting really frustrated. And then honestly, I was like, were the people who was like, don't do it, were they right? What's going on? And I've just been feeling really stressed when before I felt so sure about what I was doing. And I was like, well, what changed? Really, y'all, this is what the bickering is about. So, and we're going to talk more about him and some other like relationship stuff because I need y'all to chime in production. So basically, I got a lot of shit. He does not. And when I saw the pod pull up to the parking lot, I was just like, this is not going to be enough space for all of my stuff, let alone yours. It's like there are 3 mattresses that need to be taken, bed frames, dressers. I have like one of those consoles under my television, is 5011 TVs and monitors. Don't forget my computers and all this stuff. But because I have to be out of my place first, because my lease has technically already ended, and pray for me, I'm gonna go down to the office because it was really supposed to be over 10 days from yesterday. And I don't know what happened. So just pray for me, y'all. Anyway. I need to get out and I'm trying to get all of my stuff, and then the plan is to just take the boxes that don't fit, whatever doesn't fit, and like computers and stuff like that I don't want sitting in storage are going to be at his place. And then when we actually move into the house, then we'll take everything over there that is still at his apartment. And then the pod, if you don't know how the pods work, basically they come and bring you like the shipping container. They park it in your driveway, on the street, wherever you can park it. And you can load it up as you want. And then when you want to move it to your house, like let's say you were going to do everything in one day, I think they would stay and wait, I don't know, but anyway, the lady dropped it out, and shout out to her because she's a listener, but she dropped the thing off and somebody's going to come get it on Monday, and then they're just going to store it. So they have these storage facilities where they stack them all up, and then if I need to access it, you contact them 24 hours in advance, and they'll go pull the pod for you. And then when you're ready to schedule for it to be dropped off so that you can unload, you do that, and they either sit and wait or they can come back and pick it another day. It just depends. And I think that ended up being like $400, and I got the biggest one. So that worked out well for me. I think it would be a great alternative too to like hiring a moving truck, depending on who you have to help, or if it might be easier to get a TaskRabbit. Now, them TaskRabbit fees are getting to be exorbitant. I don't want to tell nobody how much they should be making, because I totally get it. It's your price, it's your time, it's your energy, whatever. And my trifling ass, no, I should have been started packing when we first said we were moving 60 days ago, but I didn't. And y'all know me, I'm a procrastinator. I got time blindness. It's a lot of shit going on up in this cuckoo bird's head. Anyway, I was very frustrated because he was like, you're taking this and you're taking this. And I was like, I kept saying like, this is why I try to have these conversations with you on the front end so that we don't end up bickering about bullshit. Because it's like, I'm not taking everything and I am decluttering, but because we don't have a lot of time for me to sort through things. And he came over one day to help me pack, and he had so many questions about all of the stuff that I wanted to bring. And it was kind of frustrating me. Like, I got a bunch of games. I love like conversation card games. And he's like, I haven't even seen you play these. Well, you don't want to play them with me. So I don't play them with you, but I play them when I have my homegirls come over. I play them when my family is in town. Sometimes I take them with me on my group trips, girls' night. Like, I like to play games. A lot of people don't, but I don't care, and I want to have them. I plan to be hosting a lot more now that I have more space and people won't be sitting on top of each other, you know? So anyway, I was like, well, I'm keeping the games. He's like, some of these haven't been open. Well, I haven't got to them yet. And then he was like, some of these are sex games. Honestly, a lot of the sex games, especially if they're question type of games, I love to go through those when I'm like trying to think of something to talk about. I don't even use it always to play with other people. I use it for research purposes. So don't worry about how I do my job. I don't tell you how to do your work. Don't tell me how to do mine. Anyway, so we're fussing about that. And then he bent the leg of the console under, what is that thing called? Is it like it's got a drawer and then there's like 4 cabinets, but it's not high. It's like the height of like a buffet table or something like that. I don't know what that shit called. I want to say credenza, but it's not giving credenza. I don't know. It's a side table and it's wide and it's not tall. So anyway, him and one of the task rabbits that I hired to come help move. I hired 2 guys to help him move the stuff, and then I hired a girl to help me pack. So they are like, oh, we should turn it on its side. I was like, okay, well, I want to be honest now. This came from Wayfair, and while I felt like I spent a lot of money on this, I know that this is not some super strong furniture, and I don't think this real wood. It's probably particle board or some shit. I don't fucking know. But what I do know is you need to be careful because it has those skinny legs and it's heavy. So then he starts telling me I should have taken everything out of it, all this stuff. You pack that, my dear, not me. And the only thing that was left in there, I think it was like a couple of photos that he didn't put somewhere else, because I think the box that I gave him to put like the loose photos that had fallen out of photo albums wasn't big enough. I don't know. I wasn't tripping about it. I shrink wrapped that shit and it was ready to go. So when they bend it on its side, the leg bends. So when I see it, I'm looking like, oh, it's fucked up. And he was like, well, it'll be all right. When you sit it down, it'll be fine. And I'm just like, you know, I don't know if I told y'all, but I had a little oopsie in his car earlier this year. We won't worry about the dates. It was a stressful time for me. Anyway, I had a little oopsie daisies, and there's a little scuff on the passenger side. But it's like if you're driving, you won't even see it. Like, anyway, I was like, well, it's cosmetic damage. Nothing is actually wrong with the car. That pole just came out of nowhere in that parking garage. It's too tight. The front of this car is too long, and this is why I don't like to drive. This is why. Did I ever tell y'all I used to be an Uber driver? I had tried Uber driving, and I'll never forget. I got so pissed off one time because I pick up this guy. It's early in the morning. He needs to get to, I can't remember if he was going to work or the airport. When he got in, I was like, hey, how you doing? And he was like, I'm okay. He kind of had an attitude, but it seemed like he was frustrated. He was like on his phone. He was in work clothes with a briefcase and like one of them briefcase looking roller bags. I always feel like people who travel with those, you're on a work trip. Because like, what did you put in there? Files and a laptop? Anyway. He was like, yeah, I'm just running late and I really hope, I can't remember if it was the airport or to work. But wherever he needed to be on time. Well, guess who got him there on time? Me. And then I get a notification that says that I got a bad review and I need to be careful because he said that I was driving too fast. Well, sir, did you make it? Did you die? Did you want to get there on time? Why are you telling me that it's late? I'm feeling like that means put the pedal to the metal if you feel like it, and that's what I did. Nobody got hurt. He's probably one of them people who be driving down 75, 85, going 45 miles per hour, even though that is well below the speed limit, and I wish they would ticket them. Now there goes my light. What the heck? Okay, let me speed this up because I don't know why the light just went out like that, and I don't want to be having issues. Anyway, we're bickering about these things, and I messed up his car, and then he messes up my furniture. Now, his car damage is more expensive than my furniture, but it's the principle of the situation. And so I was just feeling frustrated. So then it's more little things and going on and on. So I end up getting on Google, and so I asked Google, is Mercury in retrograde? I ask this all the time because I always feel like that bitch is in Gatorade and it's just always some stuff happening. I know, or I think I know, that when it is in retrograde, that a lot of times there are communication issues, technical issues, issues with traveling. You shouldn't really sign a contract. So I'm kind of glad that we didn't end up closing already, because had we, that would have been during the retrograde, and who knows what would have happened. So everything is working out how it's supposed to. Anyway, I Google. Now, Google had me thinking that your girl had time traveled, okay? Because when I Googled and asked if we were in retrograde, it said no, it ended on July 23rd, 2026. And I was like, now I know I've been having these days mixed up every single day for probably the past 90 days. But I don't think the 23rd has happened. And I know that because my mom and my dad's birthday is on the 20th and the 21st, and we haven't celebrated yet. Anyway, Google was wrong. So technology issue, communication issue. Let me tell y'all what it says. For reference, and if you're not into astrology or whatever, I don't know, skip ahead like 5 minutes. But I always find it really interesting, and maybe one day when we have an astrologist on, we can go deeper into why I think everything is connected. I don't think it's witchcraft. I don't think that everything is all the way accurate all the time, but there are a lot of little things. And I mean, the moon affects crops, don't it? It affects the tide, don't it? So, like, why can't some of these other things affect us? Anyway, it says, let me see my notes, how it may have affected you. I'm a Virgo sun, a Virgo rising, and my moon is in Libra. It said, this ChatGPT. So for you, this retrograde may have looked less like my phone broke and more like reconsidering who belongs on your team and who fits the next version of your work. I was gagged. And then, okay, what else did I see? Blah, 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 blah. My biggest personal thing, this is what it says when I was looking it up, renegotiating your relationship with community. Who is a part of the future? Who is simply part of the history? And what kind of support do you actually need? Is that not basically the theme of the past while, especially during this retrograde season? Anyway, okay, so we have retrograde is in Cancer, whatever the hell that means, since June 29th. The shadow period started around June 12th. And honestly, that explains a few things. I'm not quite sure what the shadow period means. Somebody chime in if y'all really into it. You know what? I need to have this conversation with my homegirl, Megan. I'm going to invite her on soon when we get back to the stew. Okay, for me as a Virgo rising though, this retrograde has been moving through the part of my chart connected to audiences, friendships, collaborators, group projects, and future plans. What the hell? So it's really been given who is actually supposed to be coming with me into this next chapter. Is that not crazy? Production, nobody is up to be fired. I just want to be clear. Y'all all still will maintain your jobs as long as you keep leaving those comments and talking back to me so I don't feel crazier than I already do while I'm sitting in this big room with me, my dog, and lights, talking to my damn self. Okay. Let's see, what else did it say? It can bring up old conversations, expose unclear communication, make you rethink partnerships, and force you to revise plans you thought were already complete. I just told y'all about my move. I thought we had it all figured out how this pod situation was going to go, because I really felt like the pod was mostly for me because I have to be out of my place. Anyway, and because it's happening in Cancer, everybody's communication can be a little bit more emotional, nostalgic, defensive, or more personal than usual. I mean, you would think I had been feeding it my business. This is nuts. The good news is Mercury is, it goes direct on July 23rd. And the bad news. We're not immediately going to be unshackled from the bullshit. Now, these are some general pointers just for everybody. I just thought it was really interesting what it had to say with more specifics than just I'm a Virgo. I highly encourage you, if you are interested in these sort of things, make sure you do your birth chart. I think if you go to astrology.com or Cafe Astrology, something like that, you can get a free one done. Okay. So this is what it says. This is for me and this is for y'all too. For the rest of the retrograde, reread your text messages and emails before sending them. I kid you not, last night I was texting someone and I didn't like their tone. But I did take a step, and this wasn't even thinking about retrograde. It was just thinking about, we've been already having communication issues. I've been having communications with that person. I've been having communication issues with other people. And I just really want to slow down, take a beat, because I'm already feeling cuckoo, and I want to be clear because I don't want to keep adding fuel to these little fires everywhere, which is a great show and book if you haven't read it. Anyway, reread everything. I reread the text and I still felt like there was attitude there. So what I did in this instance was like, hey, I sent a voice note. It was too late to be calling, but I sent a voice note and I was just like, hey, I didn't want to misinterpret tone of a text and think you had an attitude. So I'm sending you a voice note to let you know that I am tired and I ain't slept, so that's why my voice sounds like this, but I'm really trying to work with you here. And so when I heard back later, everything was fine. And so, yeah, it was like, well, I don't know if there was an attitude or not, but everything was fine. And I'm glad that I did that because it could have gone another way. And when I'm in my crazy mode, sometimes this is in general, whether it's the 3 crazy weeks or the good one, I know that when I cut, I'm gonna cut you to the white meat. And that's not something that I'm proud of. That's not something that I would encourage anyone to do. It's simply the God's honest truth. And I don't be having a whole lot of middle ground. And so it's like, I would rather just keep it cute, because the next thing I'm gonna do is insult you real bad. I'm gonna insult you so bad, you and your mama gonna cry. And that's not cool. That's not nice. That is not very sweet. It's not giving Southern Belle. Also, revisit before you reinvent. This is another thing that it says. This is considered a better period for editing, repairing, reviewing, reconnecting, and completing unfinished business rather than rushing something out simply to say it is done. The shadow period. So the shadow period already started. I forgot what day it said, but anyway, the period afterward is called the post-retrograde shadow. Okay, so this is after retrograde, what we're about to go into. Mercury is moving forward again, but it is retracing the same section of Cancer that it traveled during the retrograde. Astrologically, this is viewed as the cleanup and resolution phase rather than an instant all clear. From July 23rd through roughly August 6th or 7th, god damn. Look for missing information to surface, delayed conversations to finally happen, technical or scheduling issues to get resolved, and decisions to become clearer. Well, Mercury direct is not a magic reset button, obviously, but the shadow period is when we review the security footage and figure out exactly what happened. So I think, basically it's a time to reflect on what's been going on this past month, and I will definitely be doing that because my life, my emotions, everything has been so up and down and so crazy. I just cannot wait to be settled. And I know that a lot of you guys were like, take a break, we get it. Well, unfortunately, I can't take a break right now. But once I move into the house, I will be taking a break. And speaking of which, I'm really excited about something. So we haven't figured out all of our designs and like paint colors and new furniture, because I'm bringing a lot of my old stuff, but I'm bringing the old stuff because I don't want to be sitting there like Will Smith when they moved out of that mansion in Bel Air with a big empty house. I can't stand seeing that. So we're going to bring the old stuff and then just replace it. And then that way we won't feel pressure to rush and get something that we might not actually love. So I already ordered my bed. So I told y'all I was looking at the different mattresses, right? I didn't just get the mattress. So I got this like wedge pillow, and I got some more of the luxury cooling pillows. I got a new sheet set in, I think I got this one in either silver or white. I got the bamboo tinsel sheets. I also got their new bed. What is it? I gotta see. Let me see. This particular one is newer from when I got my last one. Before, I had the Sedona Elite. This one, I should have pulled this up already. Mattresses. Okay. Shop on. They got a lot of mattresses. They even have dog mattresses, and I didn't realize that they have stuff for RVs. They have stuff for dorm rooms, which I think is pretty cool. They have some mattresses also, because I don't know when the last time y'all went mattress shopping, and I don't know what everybody and whoever else is in their bed weighs. Not my business, don't care, but they do have weight limits on these mattresses, like all mattresses and beds and everything. They have new lines of plus size mattresses, because whether you plus size or itty bitty size or somewhere in between, you deserve to have a good, comfortable sleep. You too should be well rested and not struggling on a mattress that is struggling to hold you. Okay, so I got the Thermo Balance Elite. And this one, there's a Thermo Balance mattress, and then there's a Thermo Balance Elite. I got the Elite because it actually has some added lumbar support, which is like your lower back area. And dragging this wagon, baby, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys that I'm getting the mattress. I do have to actually give you some messaging from Brooklyn Bedding, but I'm just so excited about it. I tell you. So anyways, the ordering process was really easy. I've already got the bed frame, which I also ordered from them. It just made it easier because I know that everything that they're selling is going to work with their mattresses. You can see everything there. They have a chat option, so if you have questions, because I wasn't sure what some of the differences were, so I used the chat option to get more clarity, and I'm pleased with my purchase. So there was that. Then what else? They're made in America. They come from Arizona. And we have a code, so you're going to get a great rate on your mattress or whatever it is that you're buying. They also have memory foam toppers. They also have the mattress protectors, which is also really important. They have the kind where it's like it covers the top, and then they have the other one where it fully covers the entire mattress, because sometimes there are spills, accidents, or real spicy, wet, juicy nights. All sorts of things happen, and you get it, and you don't want it to soil your mattress, because who knows what'll start growing in there. We already can't eat the lettuce. I also like, because lately I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's all the caffeine in my body or just what, but I be getting hot at night. And I don't like the air to be too cold, like the AC, and I don't like to sleep with the fan, because then I wake up and I'm like super congested. So what I like to do now is just sleep in my bed, because I got a Brooklyn Bedding bed. Brooklyn Bedding uses Glaciotex technology, and what that is it has copper infused foams and the temperature regulated materials to help keep you cool and comfortable all night long. They also I have the cooling pillows and the cooling bed. And I always be like, when mattress companies talk about the quality of their mattress and like all of these cooling things, I'm always like, but is it actually going to work? Because I'm not sleeping on a bare mattress. I'm not sleeping on a bare pillow. I am absolutely going to have sheets and pillowcases. Well, I've already tried it out with my sheets and my pillowcases and everything on my current mattress, and it is definitely cooling. When I be sleeping at his house, because he don't have the Brooklyn Bedding bed, that's when I be sweating, or in a hotel, and I just be missing my bed so bad, child. So y'all just need to go ahead and go to brooklynbedding.com, use our code CockTalesPod at checkout site-wide, and you will get 30% off. That's brooklynbedding.com and promo code CockTalesPod for 30% off site-wide. Again, brooklynbedding.com, promo code CockTalesPod and you'll get 30% off. Let me see if there's any current sales going on. Yes. So from July 13th to July 26th, they are having the summer sale. So make sure you go check out their mattresses and upgrade your sleep so that you too can be rested. I told you about the retrograde. I told you that I'm moving. I told you I've been bickering. I haven't changed my mind, but I was just feeling it. And I feel like I just need to take a breather. Moving is always going to be stressful. And I also broke several of my nails. My fingernails are fucked up and I'm looking crazy. I had to put a little face on for y'all, but it's just a little bit because half my shit is packed up. I wanted to talk to y'all about some shows, but I'm going to save that for another day because I definitely want to talk about the Shamia and Portia situation, but I'm going to keep letting that boil and brew. We'll talk about that in 2 weeks when I have a guest. I also watched a movie for my sci-fi girlies and guys out there, Project Hail Mary. I enjoyed it. You should watch it. And then I was watching Worst Neighbor Ever on Netflix. It's not like the Neighbors show on HBO Max. Worst Neighbor Ever, those people are committing serious crimes. Y'all should watch it. And I also wanted to talk to you guys about breakups. So I'm going to give you food for thought. And we're going to talk about this in more detail another day. But when you're in a relationship or a friendship or hell, even quitting a job, how do you handle it? I think it's always different. I'm usually not the one to break up with anybody ever. If I do, it's more of like a ghosting situation. Not proud of it, but that's what happens. And I think probably because I had so many relationships, situationships, and bullshit ships is what they were. I've had so many of those. I just feel like everything is different. And when I've had all of these other niggas in my life before and things were fizzling out, I have definitely found myself in the position where I'm begging for some closure and I'm begging for answers and all this stuff. And why do you don't want to talk to me more? But he's been ignoring me for weeks. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought about that with a lot of the comments on these episodes in recent days. And then I thought about like how I have handled things in relationships in the past. Was I the ghoster? Was I the one that wanted to end things, but then just lay out all of the stuff that I've been hanging on to? Is it like an exit interview? Like, what's the vibe? So I'm curious, production. Y'all let me know how y'all actually handle breakups and ending things, whether it's a friendship, a work relationship, or a romantic relationship, or even if you had to cut your family off. Let me know how that goes. And then also how you want to be, because I totally recognize that the things that we do isn't always what we want to do. And sometimes we try to get to the version of ourselves that we want, and sometimes it's just like, well, I don't even know. So I'm just curious. I handle them all very differently. But that's what I was going to say before I got up. I definitely used to be that bitch that was like begging. Oh, I'm so disgusted with myself. I can't even believe I just told y'all that. But I used to be a begging ass bitch. I used to be a sad ass bitch. But you know what? I feel like the silver lining in that, it made me create CockTales. So all's well that ends well, right? But I used to be asking for all of this information. I wanted them to tell me why, like what was wrong with me. And then there were a few times where, probably only when I felt like I had the upper hand, which may have been like once or twice, I just wanted to lay out all of the things that I didn't like, and like have this conversation. And I think I wanted them to feel bad. In hindsight, that was dumb. There was no point to do that. I don't need to be trying to control how somebody else feels about what I perceive that they did to me. You know, it's like they might feel bad about it, they might not. But if I'm not going to be a part of this person's life anymore, why am I wasting my energy on that? I have to remind myself of that anytime anything ends. Like, I can't control, it is frustrating, but I can't control what somebody thinks or how somebody feels about me. So no need to waste energy trying to explain your life away. Yeah, I think the most one situation that I had where I wouldn't say I broke up with them. It was a family member, and we didn't obviously break up because we wasn't dating or nothing, but just, you know how like some people cut off their parents or they don't talk to their siblings anymore. There's certain people that they just don't talk to. I think I told y'all this before, I'm pretty sure, but I really had to just create some distance with a family member. And I did have a conversation because I felt like a conversation needed to be had because I was unsure of what I wanted to do. And so once I had the conversation, I made my decision after thinking about it, but I made my decision, and it was simply just to step back. It could be looking like ghosting, depending on, you know, how you look at things, because I don't respond as much. I don't. And it's like, I might see the message, I might see it days later, and it's like, well, shit, oh well. Or it just really depends. But there have been times where I have been silent, and there have been other times where I was vocal, and the same on the receiving end. Sometimes I want to hear what's going on, and sometimes I just be like, good fucking riddance. I am going to go cry because you're never going to tell me the truth because you're a lying ass nigga and you didn't deserve my time or my pussy anyway. I was trying to think of the last time I cried over a man. I'm so glad that those days are behind me. Well, hopefully. Okay, so back to my man that's not my man, and then that's probably going to be it. Actually, instead of talking about crying and thinking about something sad, and I can't wait to get my new bed. All of our beds are packed up, so we've been sleeping on an air mattress. But once we get out, I have been taking my soaking wet pills, and I'm so happy I have because we gonna christen that house, okay? I love the soaking wet supplements. It's a probiotic and prebiotic for total vaginal health. Anybody out there with a vagina, you need to be taking soaking wet. You get it from VB Health. You go to soakingwet.com or vb.health. We have a code. It's CockTales. You'll get 10% off. But soaking wet is created by actual physicians. So not somebody making up something in their mama's basement. You also can see reviews. They are manufactured, well, not manufactured, but the capsules are put together in, I don't know the right terminology, in a CGMP certified facility, so you know that it's safe, you know that it's clean. And I also love that they have third-party reviews, and they actually tell you what's in your supplements. A lot of times these supplements just be saying random stuff, or they don't disclose it, and that's a little fishy. And before you have your coot cat smelling fishy, you just need to make sure you stick to the supplements from VB Health, because they have a simple mission, and that is to create supplements that work. So with that being said, make sure that you go to soakingwet.com and get your supplements today. Use the code CockTales and you'll get 10% off your purchase. Now, back to my man that's not my man. Yes, I know it's gonna be gushy. We're gonna have a good time, and I'm gonna have a cocktail for y'all. But okay, so this was the argument. And we're still in it, and I need your feedback because I want to know what you think and like how you would handle this situation. Here's the issue. I call my homegirl and I ask her for advice. Very rarely do I call people and ask for advice, especially for relationship advice, because I understand that relationships are just so nuanced, and it's like you got to give them so much of your business, and then it's like you're obviously going to sway them to be on your side, and then maybe they won't be, and then that's going to piss me off because I need you to be on my side. If I'm calling you bitch, you're supposed to be on my side. This is just the girl code. Anyway, the issue is I hope he don't get mad at me for this. Y'all pray he don't get mad, and don't nobody tell him that I said this on the show, but I am feeling frustrated because I told him, you know, this is a big step. Here he goes. I'm literally recording. Anyway, this is a big step for me, and I have a lot of feelings surrounding it, and I want to make sure that we are moving forward with this step and being like clear. And I don't want a bunch of confusion. I don't want to have confusion at home. I have confusion in every other aspect of my life right now. I don't want it there. And so we talked before about like the money was what we talked about first. And I wanted to be clear and be on the same page and not just assuming things. But then as of late, it's been more so like he's a first time home buyer. This is apparently a really stressful situation, and I get it. And I'm not trying to minimize it or anything. Well, I am trying to minimize it, but not in like a bad way. I'm trying to minimize it by saying, like, okay, well, what can I do to help? What can I do to alleviate some of the stress? Maybe I was suggesting that we go look at furniture, and he was getting frustrated because he's like, I'm spending all this money on this and this and all of these fees, and I got to pay for this, and I had to put all this money into this, and then I gave him the earnest money. That was a big chunk of change, all this stuff, right? And I was like, I wasn't saying to go buy it, but I'm just trying to highlight like the good side about buying a home. This is a home that is yours. You have moved around a lot like as a kid. And so if you have done all that, maybe like just visualizing some of the stuff and thinking about visualizing the end result and visualizing you being in that home instead of every day stewing and brewing about what's going on. You got to get this document over, got to get that document over. I just thought that that would be helpful. So I was like, that's my heart was in the right place. I know that. But I can understand how he feels and that he was frustrated. But what I'm feeling like is starting to happen, and I want to approach this delicately, is starting to feel like there are certain things that he feels like he just needs to do or handle on his own because he is a man. And I shouldn't have to worry about that. That's cute. But if it's stressing you the hell out, I'm trying to be more of a partner here than just somebody who's taken, and walking around with their brain turned off, living in La La Land. Like, La La Land is cool and everything, but like, for real, I don't live there. And I don't think I would ever be comfortable there. I don't be asking a million questions to micromanage. Well, not exactly, but sometimes I know, like, hey, why don't we work with our strengths and weaknesses? And I am just a curious person. I'm always asking a ton of questions, especially when it's something new or unfamiliar. So when I'm asking, if you ask questions and you don't have to snap at me about it, because now you don't have the answer. So it's going to have to be the next time that you talk to them, and this is your transaction, not mine. He was like, you just act like I'm not going to be able to do it. And I'm like, no, it's not that. I can tell that you're stressed. And even when you're like, everything is fine, but something is not. Something is stressing you, whatever it is. Like, you can talk to me. It's okay. I'm going to be more upset if you feel like you can't talk to me. You feel like you can't trust me. You feel like if you have a vulnerable moment with me with this, and I think it's because it's a money thing, and niggas be sensitive about their money. It's going to offend me that you feel like you got to keep me in the dark and just figure it out on your own, and you can't even vent your frustrations. I'm just trying to help and trying to figure out a way to help. So I was asking her, like, you think that's like a man thing, and they be wanting to like take care of stuff? They just want to take care of stuff? Or like, what's the tea? Because I'm getting frustrated, and it's like, I'm feeling like, yeah, you're saying everything is good, but you'll say it's good and you say, oh, this is going to happen, but then we have had some things out of your control, but some things have happened and they've changed. So I would just prefer to be clued in. I don't want to be like my girls that be on the Housewives and be like, oh, I was in this relationship for 57 years and I just never knew anything, and now I'm out here and I don't even know how to pay a damn light bill. Hell no, I need to know what's going on. So production, I'm going to ask you for advice, because we're not doing advice this week, but I do want y'all to send it in. I would like to know, when you are having communication issues with someone you're with and you really just want to help them, you're not trying to tell them what to do or how to do it or anything like that. You just recognize the stress, and because you care, you want to help and try to alleviate some of that stress, or maybe take some tasks off their hand, or whatever could actually be helpful. That's all you want to do. What way do you go about it? And what do you do when you are met with an attitude and you understand why they have an attitude, and it's probably misplaced attitude issues going on? It's the Mercury and Gatorade. It is. But I don't want it to continue after the 23rd. So anyway, I just want some advice on what you guys think would be a good way to approach it without coming off condescending or like I want to micromanage them, because I don't like when a bitch talk to me and be condescending, and I definitely don't like to be micromanaged. That makes me snap real quick. Also, so that's it for my advice that I need from y'all. So I need y'all to chime in the comments. And then I also want to know, I wanted to remind you guys that we have a new segment, and it's called Sip and Spill. And so So I want you guys, like the cocktails, but I want you guys to call the number and leave a voicemail, and I'll play it on the show. If you think that your voice will be recognized or something like that, just say in the voicemail that you need me to alter your voice. I'll do that for you. But I want you guys to give me your confessions, or you can ask for advice, or you can do whatever you want to do. We're going to call this the nightcap number, and you just need to call before you drunk text your ex. Just call the nightcap line, and we're going to sip and spill at the end of every episode. And we'll start this up in a couple of weeks. I am going to put the phone number in the episode description because I can't find it, and everything in here is dying. Well, I can't wait to get back to the studio, and I cannot wait to finish packing so that I can move. I'm about to get back to that. I love you guys. Thanks so much. Tap in the comments and just let me know what's going on. And also keep sending me your suggestions for topics, guests, and whatever else you might want to see next.